We are the bank.
Right.
We fund our own loans.
Gotcha.
And these loans are 0% interest. It's not about building a house.
Right.
We're building a family, and we're building generations of wealth and improvement for that whole family. One of the famous lines we use is, we're not a handout, we're a hand up.
Right.
And that's how we demonstrate that to them. It's about how many people are involved in changing one family.
Right.
And so that's what makes me happy, is it's not about me, it's about us collectively as a community doing this to change a family's life.
Welcome back to another episode of the Southern Executive Experience. I'm here with Mary Lamond from the Habitat for Humanity here in Glynn County. She's the executive director. Thank you, Mary, for joining us today and taking time out of your day.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Mary, can you start off by sharing a little bit about yourself and what led you to become involved with Habitat?
So, yes, I'm happy to. I started volunteering with Habitat on a construction site about 25 years ago.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it. Then I was actually leading a different nonprofit, but I became friendly with the executive director of the Habitat there, and she invited me to come and be on a volunteer committee.
Okay.
That helps to select the families that Habitat builds for. Did that for a few years, and then so 5 or 6 years into it, she came to me and said, I'm retiring and I think you should take my job.
Awesome.
So it worked out. I've been with Habitat for about 15 years now.
Okay.
Prior to Glynn County, I was up in the Atlanta area called North Central Georgia Habitat.
Okay.
Roswell, Alpharetta, Cumming, Cherokee County. We covered 4 counties up there.
Gotcha.
So I was just very blessed. In 2024, I heard about the opening here in Glynn County. And Habitat's a passion, but living in the coastal area is something. I grew up in Texas on the coast, and I was ready to get back.
There you go.
So it was a great opportunity for me. I love Glynn County. I love being in this area. People have been so welcoming. So I was just happy to get down here, and we've had a great run for 35 years in Glynn County before I got here.
Right.
So now we're just trying to take it to the next level. We'd love to be able to build more houses every year. So that's one of the reasons that they brought me on, to try to build more opportunity to build those houses.
Gotcha. Well, you took my next question from me. I was going to say what inspired you or got you to that role of CEO. So you were in Atlanta for a little while and kind of learned, did the same job up there, and just wanted to come down here to live in the Golden Isles.
Yes, and live in a smaller environment. It's much more personal here.
Right.
We don't have the large companies here in Glynn County. Like, I'm used to working with UPS and large organizations, but it's much more intimate here.
Right.
And one of the things that I really like to stress when I'm talking to people about Habitat Glynn is that all of our money comes from Glynn County, and it stays in Glynn County.
Right.
So we don't receive funding, for example, from Habitat for Humanity International. They're our parent company, but they do not fund us. We raise all of our own money to pay for salaries, our trucks that run our restore, our employees, and all of the funds that it takes to build a house.
So is that pretty much the biggest difference, is the size companies you're dealing with and the donors and stuff like that?
Yes. Fortunately, we have a very healthy individual donor base here.
Yes.
People are just extremely generous.
Absolutely.
So that's what's helped us maintain our presence for 36 years now.
I think for the size of the community we're very blessed to the resources that we have in this area, especially with helping people with your get homes and other programs to get people off their feet, homelessness, things like that. We're very blessed to have a lot of great organizations.
Yes.
With that in mind. For those of you that may not know, can you explain a little bit what Habitat's mission is?
So we are focused on bringing the community together to build homes and hope and community.
Okay.
We are the only nonprofit that offers home ownership to folks.
Right.
That is a reasonable, affordable mortgage.
Right.
And that's really what makes Habitat so unique. Not just the home ownership, but who we're serving. So there's often a misunderstanding. People think that we build a home and we hand the keys over and that's the end of the process.
Right.
That's not true. The folks that we build for, first of all, go through a pretty rigorous application process.
Okay.
They have to demonstrate, number one, that they have a need for our program.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a lot of people that might qualify, but they also would qualify for a conventional mortgage.
Right.
Those aren't the folks we're going to serve.
Gotcha.
We want to serve people that really don't have other options.
Mm-hmm.
So besides proving that need, that also includes maybe their current housing is unaffordable, which just about everybody can claim that these days.
Absolutely.
But also there's often other circumstances. For example, it's an overcrowded situation where maybe you have 4 children and there's 2 girls and 2 boys, but they're sharing bedrooms.
Right.
That's not a good thing. So we want to address that. We may have people that are living in homes that are so deteriorated, or they have an electrical problem, or maybe they have mold and they can't afford to spend thousands of dollars to remediate that situation. A lot of times, most of them are all renting.
Right.
So they don't have any control over those things.
Right.
So that's the need area. Then we focus on their ability to pay.
Gotcha.
So in the application process, they're applying to enter the program, but they're also pre-qualifying to get that loan. So most times the families are in the program for about 1 year before we finish building a house for them.
Okay.
So they start early on building on someone else's home, and then theirs comes up next.
Gotcha.
So they're already putting into the program, into the community through their own sweat equity, we call it.
Yeah.
But when they're being pre-qualified, they have to provide 2 years of tax returns, 6 months of bank statements, pay stubs for 6 months. So we're making sure that they're qualified, because the reason that Habitat has been so successful is the families are successful.
Right.
And we don't want to put someone in a home that they're going to struggle to pay that mortgage.
Right.
So that's the second criteria, is their ability to pay. And then the third is the willingness to partner, which is they agree to put in 200 hours of sweat equity.
Okay.
They also attend education classes that we design, which are intended to prepare them for home ownership. It's really surprising for many people that own a home already. You don't think about the things that are going to be a challenge to you that you've never had before. So, for example, a lot of first-time home buyers, whether they're with Habitat or otherwise, they don't think about in 6 to 8 years, I'm going to need to have enough money to paint my house again.
Right.
So those are things that we address in our education classes. We talk about financial literacy, home maintenance. Of course, we do a walkthrough when we're completing the house, and we show them all the major components of their home so that they realize that water heater isn't going to last you for 30 years.
Right. Yeah.
And here's how you maintain it to keep the life going, but you're going to have to save for that.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I kind of wish somebody I could have gone through that class, learning some things. Being a homeowner, you learn so much as you go. Recently, I've only owned 2 homes, but my first home didn't have have gutters, and so I just learned. I've had my home for 1.5 years, and I was like, "There's something growing in my gutters," and it just didn't occur to me to clean them. I know that you clean gutters, but to me it just didn't click
because you hadn't had to do it before.
Exactly.
Yes.
So just learning those things, and there's so many of those things, especially if you never owned a home, that you need to know. So
absolutely. So we have basically 6 classes that we put them through.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. We're about to partner with a local attorney here in Glynn County.
Okay.
Who's going to actually teach a class on wills and estate planning.
Okay.
Because these folks now have an asset.
Right.
And if they don't protect it and make a plan for it, they need to do that. So I'm partnering with someone that's going to help us with that.
That sounds awesome. That'd probably be a great program.
Yeah. So we're always trying to improve our curriculum.
Yep.
And so one of the things we do, by the way, is every year we conduct a homeowner survey.
Okay.
And we ask them things like, what could we have offered you in the way of education before you owned your home that we can do better next time for the next set of homeowners. The statistics that we get back from that are really encouraging because outcomes are really how you determine your future.
Right.
So, for example, 80% of families say that their financial stability in their home has improved greatly. 65% say that their children are doing better academically.
Right.
Those are the things that motivate us to keep doing what we're doing because it's not about building a house.
Right.
We're building a family and we're building generations of wealth and improvement for that whole family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Can you talk a little bit more about sweat equity in case, and I know we talked a little bit about it, but just in case, my viewers don't know what that is?
So it's exactly what it sounds like. You're going to get out there and you're going to sweat.
Yep.
You're going to put in the physical labor. We even have, as you probably know, we have a Habitat Restore here in Glynn County.
Right.
They can go in there and put in some hours as well.
Okay.
So if we get a lot of rain and we're not building, they can go in there and contribute hours. Basically, it's showing that they're going to do their part. One of the famous lines we use is, "We're not a handout, we're a hand up."
Right.
And that's how we demonstrate that to them. We're working hard on their behalf, and we want them to work just as hard.
And you don't want it to be just a gimme. You want them to have some equity, like that's a good word, in on it, and so it means something to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know this as adults. Anytime you put your effort into something, it's just more rewarding.
Absolutely.
So that gives them a sense of not just ownership from a mortgage standpoint, but they were part of building the house.
Right.
And they're going to take more pride in it. That's another really 95% say they have more pride in their home because they own a home now. So they're going to maintain it and better.
And I remember I've volunteered a few times in the past, and the kids come and help, and the kids are helping. It's their home, and it's just a great experience.
Yes.
How many families do you know how many families y'all have helped in Glynn County?
Well,
or how many houses?
I was going to say we're about to start on house number 96 and 97.
Okay.
So that's the number of families that have been helped by Habitat here.
Almost up to 100.
Yes.
That's going to be a big
so
number.
So we're building in Century Place, which is a 19-home development in New Brunswick.
Okay.
And we're starting houses 9 and 10 in next month. And so when we finish, there will be 19, and that's why we're calling it Century Place. Gotcha. It will be the home of the 100th Habitat home in Glynn County.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what does it mean for you personally when you see a family moving into their new home for the first time?
I get a little emotional about this.
Yeah.
It's so important to me when we talk about community. Not everyone has $150,000 to give to a charity so they can build a house for someone.
Right.
But the way we're able to do this is it's everyone. It's you, it's me, it's the sponsors, it's the GICA comes out and helps us. Last time around, we had Brunswick High School football team come out and lay the sod.
Nice.
Praise God. I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But it's about how many people are involved in changing one family.
Right.
And so that's what makes me happy is it's not about me. It's about us collectively as a community doing this to change a family's life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Are there any success stories that stand out to you either from Glynn County or from your past job?
Yes, I have. I was just telling someone about this the other day. I had a young lady that applied with me probably 10 years ago up in North Georgia, and she was going through a divorce. She'd been a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. She hadn't worked in probably 10 years. Very, very sad situation that caused the divorce. And she contacted us, and she had just gotten a job as a school bus driver.
Okay.
And so when I first met with her, I said, Melanie, you don't have enough stability to qualify.
Right.
But I want you to come back in another year. And she did.
Mm-hmm.
and we built her a home.
Nice.
She is now the head of the transportation department for the school system.
Oh, wow.
That was 10 years ago.
She went from being homeless to being the director.
She was literally in a rental house. I went on the home visit. And by the way, we go and visit where they're currently living to verify what their situation truly is.
Yeah.
And she was living in a rental house that had been almost gutted, and they had actually removed the floors.
And she was living
And she was living on concrete floors with her 2 kids.
Wow.
And look where she is now.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling a group recently about Deshaun Watson,
Yeah.
the quarterback from Clemson, who's now in the NFL.
Yep.
When he was growing up, he lived in public housing in Gainesville, Georgia.
Yep.
His mom got a Habitat house.
Yep.
And he now says having the stability of not moving and having a place that was affordable for the family allowed him to focus on his academics and his sports. And so he really does credit Habitat for making that significant shift in his life.
That's awesome. I did hear that somewhere, that he grew up in Habitat housing. Beyond the building the homes, what ways do Habitat contribute to the community?
How we contribute to the community?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, not only are we changing the families' lives, but you're taking people that have felt like they were a drain on the community. Now they're paying property taxes. They have insurance policies on their home. So they are contributing. They're contributing to the tax base, just like you and me.
Right.
And I think that's a real sense of pride for them, that I'm not a renter anymore. In fact, it's really interesting. A lot of times when they first move in, the first year, they'll call us about something and we'll say, you're not renting anymore.
Yeah.
You have a mortgage and you get to figure this out on your own.
Gotcha.
We will help you. We can tell you some resources, but there's not the landlord to call anymore to come fix something.
And I bet that it is like a little mindset.
It's a mind shift for them. Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I will tell you one other thing that we contribute to the community.
Absolutely.
Our Habitat Restore.
Yep.
So we've had a restore here for 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
We're making another big change in our restore. We want to sell more products that are not thrift store items, but instead we're selling beds in the store.
I got you.
New flooring, LVP flooring, high quality.
Yeah.
We're selling rugs, new toilets, fixtures for the bathroom. So people that are doing a reno job on their bathroom or their kitchen, a lot of times they can find what they need in our store.
Gotcha.
And the purpose of a Habitat Restore is to fund our mission. So we're trying to get enough profit out of our store every year to build 2 houses.
Right.
That's $300,000. So that's why we're also changing what we're offering in the store, because we're trying to bring in more and varied clients that want to shop with us.
Gotcha. Well, that bringing a little more revenue, I guess, if you're selling other products,
yes,
and a little more high-end stuff.
Exactly.
I like that. What role do volunteers and local businesses play in the organization?
Well, they're vital. They're as important as anyone on my staff. We have to have volunteers to help us build the home.
That's right.
And when we're building a Habitat house, everything isn't done by volunteers. Of course, we have to hire electrical folks, HVAC, plumbing. All of that is done by qualified people.
Right.
The volunteers, though, they really offset a lot of cost for us because they can hang sheetrock. Yeah. They can install windows.
Right.
They install the siding on our houses.
Nice.
So there's a huge role for volunteers to play. I would say 1,000 hours per house is what we need to really complete a good, solid house. Then we use our businesses help fund us.
Right.
So, for example, right now we're in the midst of promoting our Women Build initiative.
Yeah, tell us a little more about that.
Okay, so we're going to start 2 houses in October, at the end of October, and we're trying to raise $300,000 to build these 2 homes.
Okay.
So we're looking for really 2 things. We're looking for sponsors and we're looking for teams. So the sponsors are typically your small businesses. So we have or even large businesses, but we have sponsorship levels starting at $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, and $10,000.
Gotcha.
And of course, the higher level of your sponsorship, you get more from us, which is you get to bring your employees out for a build day.
Right.
You get a lot of social media. We've hired a marketing company that's doing all of our social media now.
Awesome.
Radio, I'm about to do an interview next week with Scott Rifen. So those people are going to get promoted through our efforts. But also, we want to leave space for the small groups, like me and my tennis group, right?
Right.
So we already have some of those groups signed up where they're creating their own team, and they start with a minimum of $250, and they get to bring their team for a build day.
Gotcha. Yeah. So they do have to donate or raise a little money to come out.
I mean, if you've got 5 women, you're all given just a little bit.
$20 or something, and
exactly.
everybody can come out and help out the day.
And a lot of people feel like, well, what's my $25 going to do?
Yeah.
Well, you multiply that over 100 people, that's a significant amount of money.
It adds up fast.
Yes.
It does.
So that's why we want to offer teams as well as sponsorships.
And this new push for the focus on women getting out there to get out there and do a little construction.
Yes.
And do all that.
Yes. So women a lot of times think, well, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
I've never really been good at using a hammer.
Right.
You'll be shocked at what you can do when you have a skilled person that shows you how to do it. Now, I don't want to leave the men out.
Right.
We do want men coming out. In fact, most of what we call our regulars, most of them are men.
Yeah.
They're going to be out there. They're going to be showing us what we need to do and how to do it.
Gotcha. Well, in my house, I am not the handy one. My wife, it's her toolbox. I don't know anything that's in it, and I break things if I try to do it. So she handles that.
I'm the same way. When I sadly got divorced many years ago, and all my friends said, "Why didn't you bring the toolbox? I mean, you're the one that fixed everything."
That's right.
So,
that's right.
But it's a way for women that aren't comfortable. It's fun. It's not just about building this house. It's about the camaraderie, about being able to say to your friends, "Oh, I did a habitat build one time." I mean, I have so many people that I've heard that from. They just enjoyed the experience and knowing that they were giving of themselves, their time and their talent to help another individual.
Gotcha. Well, we've talked about the Century
Place,
the community, and we've talked about the Women's Initiative. Are there any other upcoming projects or events y'all are planning?
Yes, thank you for asking. So many people have been literally called my office this year and said, "When is the hunt ball?"
Yeah.
And I said, well, we only do the hunt ball every other year.
Gotcha.
And lots of disappointment, but we're on track. We will be holding our hunt ball on February 1, 2026.
Okay.
It's a special event that is held at the Frederica Golf Club. And we'll have sponsor opportunities for all of that.
Yeah.
But it's all around the whole hunting theme.
Yeah.
I unfortunately missed it in January of 24. It was right before I got here.
I think it was held out at Frederica Golf Course.
Yes.
Township, sorry.
Yes, exactly. And so we're very excited. We've connected with an actual star, a rising star in Nashville.
Okay.
We're signing a contract with his agent next week.
Is there any? Can you announce it, or
I can just say that some people will recognize him because he was on The Voice.
Okay.
And he won The Voice.
He won The Voice.
He won The Voice.
That's pretty big.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so I
exciting.
can't say his name yet because we're not
finalized.
Yes, we're not finalized, but and that's a really huge fundraiser for us.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking more about that in the fall.
Yep. I know we've been at our company. We've been involved in that in the past. And
Yes.
Amanda's helped that a lot lately, and she enjoys working with that organization,
Yes.
working with y'all, and doing that event.
Yeah, she led the whole charge last year.
That's right.
So we have a board member this week that said, "I'll take it on as long as Amanda will be in the background giving me my cues."
Good deal. Good deal. I'm sure she'll be there helping
yes.
out. What is your vision for Glynn County Habitat over the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, we talk a lot about the building and the money, but also we need more volunteers.
Okay.
Really in the sense of we have what we call our regular volunteers, small group of people, mostly retired, that like to come out twice a week.
Right.
We usually build on Wednesdays from roughly 8:30 to 12:30, and we build again on Saturdays. These men and women come out every week like it's their paying job.
Right.
we need more of those.
Gotcha.
Because, people age and we need to replace them with other folks that can continue to carry the torch.
Gotcha.
So that's one way people can plug in to volunteer. Additionally, we have committees. I mentioned earlier, I served on the Family Selection Committee many years ago. Those are folks in the community that just have an interest in helping us with the process of applications, going on home visits, meeting the families in advance, and saying, yes, they would be a good fit for us.
Right.
So you can volunteer in that way as well. And then all of our board, we have 15 board members. Right. All of them are volunteers, and they vary from bankers to attorneys to retired marketing folks. So if people want to get involved, what I would suggest is first you come out and join us on the Build site. You don't have to be on a team for the Women Build to come out. You do need to go through our website and sign up.
Right.
But there's plenty of ways to volunteer to make Habitat stronger. I guess my vision for the future is I continually say we are only limited by money.
Yeah.
If I had double the amount of money in the bank at Habitat, we could build 6 houses a year instead of 3.
Yeah.
And so that's my vision, is to grow us to a really healthy, financially sound organization that can double what we're doing now in the community.
Well, maybe somebody in Glynn County will win that $1.7 billion they're trying to give away online and write a big check.
Well, I'm trying for it, but
yeah, me too. Me too. Oh man. Well, just a few more questions here, and just got a couple of questions on leadership, real quick.
Sure.
Leading a nonprofit comes with its unique challenges. What are lessons you have learned along the way that help you?
Realize that you're always going to be learning. Even at my significant age number, I'm still learning all the time. I learn from my board members, things that I never had to tackle before, but it's something new. So always be willing to listen to those around you who are trying to support you, because they're going to have good ideas that you haven't come up with before. That would be the main thing. The second thing I would say is it's very difficult, I find, leading a nonprofit because you're kind of on your own. You're the CEO. You can't talk to your staff about your challenges. So my board is very healthy in that way, that I can talk with them honestly about how I'm feeling about certain things. But also it's important that a CEO of a nonprofit have other people in the nonprofit world that they can share their challenges with. So I would say networking is really important.
Bouncing ideas and learning from others and that
Absolutely,
kind of thing.
Yes.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to make a difference in their community?
Get started.
There you go.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just whether it's Habitat or something else, find something that you just want to try. I've tried other nonprofits as well. Years ago, I was a CASA volunteer.
Right.
And I had a specific personal reason for wanting to get involved in that. And I found that extremely rewarding.
Right.
But it wasn't something I could do for a long time because it wears on you.
Yeah.
It's very hard to see children go back to parents when you're not convinced that it's going to work out.
Yeah.
So I would just say try something because you're going to get so much more back than what you give.
I've recently started, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, but Hope 1312 Collective here in town, I was lucky enough, Allie asked me to be a counselor this year at her camp.
Oh.
And I was able to take off a week, not a month, but a week. And it felt like a month. It was very intense, and It was awesome. I'm looking forward to next year because I said, I don't know if I was in the right mindset coming into it. I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Right.
And I was kind of in a daze the first couple, days, and by the day 3, I was into it, and I was.
And now
you're
really pumped, and you want to do it again.
I want to go again. It was the best week I've had in a long time. And I'll start crying if I start talking about it too much. But it's just to see those children, and they don't get to have those experiences, and what that organization does. But it's hard leaving them. Like it's like I wanted to bring that little bit, I wanted to bring him home with me.
Yes.
So anyway, it's tough. It's tough being in that role, but I think it's very rewarding.
Yes.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
just try something.
Yeah, exactly. I apologize.
That's
but
okay.
For those listening that feel inspired to get involved, what do you recommend them do?
Call my office,
Mm-hmm.
912-265-7455. You can ask for me,
Right.
Mary Lamond, or go to our website.
Yeah.
That's HFH, Habitat for Humanity, Glynn, hfhglynn.org.
Okay.
You can learn about our restore, about our building projects, about fundraising, joining the Women Build. It's all there.
On the website.
Yes.
And can you say that one more time? I'll get my
Yes.
editors to put it on the screen here.
HFH Glynn, GLYNN.org.
.org. Good deal. If you could leave my listeners with one message of importance or anything you'd like to share to end, anything you want to share to close things out?
I want to mention that Habitat for Humanity is a Christian organization.
Yes, ma'am.
We do this because we're showing God's love to others through the work that we are doing. You don't have to be a Christian to join us.
Right.
We serve families that do not share our faith.
Gotcha.
And that's a beautiful thing that I love about Habitat. You don't have to be like me for me to serve you. We're just trying to serve you as Christ would.
Right. That's awesome. Well, one question that came in my mind while we were talking, y'all do the loan, right? Y'all aren't it's 100% given by y'all, and it's y'all don't sell it off afterwards or nothing like that.
Thank you for asking, because this is important. We are the bank.
Right.
We fund our own loans.
Gotcha.
And these loans are 0% interest.
That was my next question.
Yes, and I can't believe I missed that. That's what makes it also very affordable.
Right.
So you take a $200,000 house and you give them a 30-year mortgage, but there's no interest.
Yep.
Their principal is in the hundreds, not thousands.
Yeah.
So our most recent homes that closed in early 2025, their total payments are less than $900 a month.
Yeah,
that's taxes, insurance, and the loan.
Escrowed everything out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, $900 a month for a 3-bedroom house. That's pretty amazing.
That should give you a leg up. That should help you out
Exactly.
for sure. 0%. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, Mary, thank you so much for coming on today, and thanks for everybody for tuning in, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's all we do.
Great.
See?
Yeah.
Awesome.